Thanks for tuning in to the Charles Novell School of Music podcast, The Best Day Yet. Here you'll find tips, insight, and information to help your music and your ministry succeed. Whether you're a singer, a musician, or a songwriter, we want to help you where you are, but we also want to help you get to where you want to go. We believe that our talents are God's gift to us, but what we do with those are our gift back to God. Yesterday's information is important, but what we can learn today will make this the best day yet. Hello, everybody. Rob Novell here with the CNS podcast, The Best Day Yet. Hope this finds all well with you today. Excited to come back with another episode of our podcast, and we've been doing these since September. Spoke with a couple people this week that were registering for CNS events that were providing feedback, letting me know how much information that they're getting from these weekly, and that it is helping them with their life, with their music, and with their ministry. And again, that is the purpose behind CNS, and that definitely is the purpose behind these. I guess they're not new anymore. We're 26 episodes in or so. So with these podcasts, that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to give you some weekly tips and tricks that can help you where you are currently, but also help you develop to get where God is needing you to be within your life, your music, and your ministry. So today we're talking, our title is called The 3 Cons of Opportunity. All right. So a little different title there. I'm going to leave you in suspense for a while, trying to figure out what does he mean by the 3 cons of opportunity. We're going to talk about that as we progress through this today. But kind of the key word here is opportunity. And I've heard for years, and I keep hearing people say, I'm just looking for the right opportunity. And we can hear that related to our jobs and our careers. I'm waiting for an opportunity to be successful. We can also hear that in our ministries. Man, I'm waiting for the opportunity to present itself so I can take my music and my ministry to the next level. And I totally get that. I totally do. But I want to talk today, more often than not, most people aren't looking for an opportunity. They're waiting for it to knock on the door and say, here I am. I think, with this, I've had so many people say, you know what, Rob, I'm just waiting on God to open a door. Once again, I understand what they mean by that. But here's my concern, and here's where I like to try to help and encourage and coach people. Within that, I believe that faith is 100% an action word. I think if there's 1,000 steps between our current situation and our breakthrough, I believe God will take 999 of them if we take the first step. So sometimes when I hear, hey, I'm waiting for a door to open, you know what? Here's my question. That step of faith, that action word, have you put your hand on that doorknob? Have you jiggled that doorknob to see, is that door even unlocked? You may be waiting for something to happen. You may be waiting for that door to open. That's been a locked door this entire time. And what are you doing? You're just wasting time. You're wasting opportunity. As you're waiting for an opportunity of that door to open and it's locked, you may literally be wasting opportunity. Opportunity by definition is this: a situation or condition favorable for attainment of a goal, a good position, a chance, or prospect, as for advancement or success. So here's the thing. I'm waiting for an opportunity to be successful. You know what? It's right there waiting on you. By the very definition of opportunity, opportunity is success. Opportunity leads you to success. An opportunity that it may be right there before you at this exact moment is a chance for you to have success be it in your career or be it in your music, in your ministry. Again, a lot of times, people are waiting for that knock on the door for opportunity to find them. And you know what? It just simply doesn't work that way. Thomas Edison, we know Thomas, the great inventor, he once said, opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. Wow. I love that one. If my dad was here, I would have already shared that with him before I'm sharing it with you all today, because my dad would tell me this way. He said, Robbie, nothing will come for free. You have to roll up your sleeves and get to work in order to obtain it. Nothing comes for free. I know growing up and through the years, I talk to people and they're like, man, I want to do that. They see the groups on stage. They see them suited and booted and looking good. They see the nice bus parked in the parking lot. They see all of this, and that's what they are trying to obtain as their level of success. They're missing out on the opportunity that's right before them. And when we're waiting for opportunity just to present itself to us and not willing, as Thomas Edison said, to get in and do the hard work, man, we are delaying what God wants to do for us. Sometimes an opportunity is right before us, but we've been so blinded by our circumstances that we can't see the obvious. So many times in my life, just being real and transparent with you today, I have missed out on seeing what was right before me the whole time because I was not looking at the obvious. I allow my situations, I allow my circumstance, I allow things that have happened to blind me of that. I love the story of the man at the pool of Bethesda. We know that story. He had laid there crippled for a long, long time. And every time that he would try to literally crawl to the pool, people would beat him to the pool. They literally would step over him, probably stepped on him in their rush to get to that pool. And as the story goes on, and we know that encounter with Jesus, when Jesus asked him, would he, why he was there? Would he like to get to the pool? Could he help him? When here's the thing, when faced with what he wanted the most, that man focused on what he had the least. Instead of saying, yes, I would like to get to the pool, he said, I can't get to the pool. Excuse after excuse after excuse. He was focusing on the obstacles in his life and not the obvious, not the here is my chance, here is my opportunity to get to that pool today. So I just want to caution us again. Sometimes an opportunity is right before us, but we're so blinded by our situation, by our circumstance, that we can't see the obvious. Keeping it scriptural today. Another story in the Bible. Remember, God had promised Abraham and Sarah a son, and after years, Sarah, she decided she wasn't going to be able to help God fulfill that prophecy, that vision, that plan that he had shared with Abraham. And so Sarah gave Hagar, the handmaiden, to Abraham, and Ishmael was born and created out of this, let's just say, connection that Sarah arranged with the handmaiden. And after that, I remember reading that story, and when I got to this, I'm like, man, this is not going to end well. And sure enough, after that, there was trouble in the tents. Let's just leave it at that. In fact, Sarah asked Abraham, get rid of her, kick Hagar and Ishmael out of the camp. And I'm sure there was some moments of intense fellowship going on because of this. Genesis 21:10, in the New American Standard, it says this: therefore she said to Abraham, drive out the maid and her son, for the son of this maid shall not be an heir with my son Isaac. Again, let me back up a little bit. By now, Isaac is in the picture. God had fulfilled that promise. Even though it was grievous for Abraham to do so, he did as Sarah requested. And he asked Hagar and Ishmael to leave. Genesis 21:14 in the King James says, "And Abraham rose up early in the morning and took bread and a bottle of water and gave it unto Hagar, putting it on her shoulder and the child, and sent her away. And she departed, and she wandered in the wilderness." So they're out there, they're in the wilderness. Sarah was successful. She got what she wanted. What's the phrase? Happy wife, happy life. Abraham was born at night, but not last night. He did as Sarah had asked him to do. So Hagar, Ishmael, they're out in the wilderness. And once the food and water were gone, Hagar put Ishmael under a tree. And here's what she said. She said, "Let me not see the death of a child." And she sat over against him and lifted up her voice, and she wept. She couldn't bear the thought of her own son dying in the wilderness. And so Hagar cries out in desperation, and God hears her cries for help. In Genesis 21:17-18, King James again, it says, "And God heard the voice of the lad. And the angel of God called Hagar out of heaven and said unto her, What aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for God hath heard the voice of the lad where he is." So the angel said unto Hagar, "Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him in thine hand, for I will make him a great nation." So if we focus on what Genesis 21:19 says in the King James, it says, "And God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. And she went and filled the bottle with water and gave the lad drink." Here's the thing. The water was there all the time, but she was so blinded, so hypnotized by the appearance of lack, by the circumstance, by the situation, so focused on her surroundings, just like that man at the pool of Bethesda, so focused on what she had the least, that when presented with the opportunity of what she wanted the most or what she needed the most, she missed out on it because she was focused on other things. So the water was there all the time. She couldn't see her miracle was right in front of her. You know what? How many times in our own lives have we been so blinded by our surroundings, by situations, by our circumstance, by us focusing on what we had the least, that we've overlooked the opportunity that's been in front of us the entire time? Moses, I love this. I heard a sermon several years back that was just revelation for me. It was eye-opening. God used this particular sermon just to help me be more expecting. Basically this, to expect the unexpected in my life, for me to somewhat remove the blinders that were keeping me from seeing big picture, for really encouraging me to quit focusing on my surroundings, to quit focusing on what Rob had the least, so I could see what was right in front of me. And the story of Moses was this. What did God use or tell Moses to use to part the waters of the Red Sea? He told him to lift up that staff and to use that for their victory that day, for their deliverance that day, that when he would hold that and raise that up, those waters began to part. So much as the word says, they crossed on dry ground. And then on the other side, that same rod, that same staff was used to defeat Pharaoh's army by closing those walls of water back up and literally drowning their enemy that day. Here's the thing. The authority that God had given Moses. I go back. I'm right now, as I'm sharing this story, I've got the visual of Charlton Heston, right? I think we all can relate to that if we've seen the old school movie, The Ten Commandments. Man, at that moment, I don't remember in watching the movie that the heavens opened up and this giant staff fell from heavens into Moses' outstretched hand. The staff was with him the entire time, which means this. The opportunity for his deliverance was in his hand the entire time. Previous to this story, he's walking around with the authority of God literally in his hand and that staff. So let's really encourage ourselves to look more around and not be so blinded by our circumstance, by our situation. Like Hagar, the water was there all the time. When God opened, it wasn't necessarily her physical eyes, it was the spiritual eyes that were open, and that enabled her to see the well. I've heard this quote: your big opportunity may be right where you are now. Every day we have an opportunity to be our best right where we are, regardless of our situations and regardless how we feel. So the title of our podcast is what? The Best Day Yet. That's something that my dad for 58 years would say at the end of devotions before it at the Charles Novell School of Music. Man, we're all about priorities. We start each day. If you attend a session of CNS, you're going to see we start each day with prayer, with devotions and with prayer. We're prioritizing. We're saying, you know what? Less of me, God, and more of you. We've got to get ourselves out of the way. If we truly want opportunities in our life and then in our ministry and in our music, we've got to focus on, let me say it this way. If we want opportunity in our music and in our ministry, we have to focus on the opportunity in our life first and foremost. So we have to let God know, you know what, I'm willing to set the music and the ministry aside to focus on you. You are more important you're bigger than all of this. So he would say that, you know, today's going to be the best day yet. Literally, this can be your best day yet if you look at the opportunities that are presented right before you. You know, what's the word say? If we're faithful with a little, he'll bless us with more, right? So every day we have an opportunity to be our best where we are, regardless of how we feel. Every day we have the opportunity to encourage others, speaking a word in a season of their lives into their spirits to build their hope. The church that I'm at in Georgia is called Hope and Life. And, you know, we've been here a long time, 17 and a half, almost going on 18 years. And I've always connected with the name of the church because that is what the message of Jesus is all about. We're trying to, you know, instill hope in people's lives, hope for our todays and hope for our tomorrows, letting people know, regardless of where you are, you know what, I'm this way when I'm talking to people. I'm quick to not say I understand what you're going through, because I don't. Even if I'm talking to someone that is sharing a similar experience that I have been through in life, I don't know how they feel because I'm not walking in their shoes. We all respond differently to different things. So opportunities present themselves to us every single day. I've said it this way, you know, preach a sermon every day, and if necessary, use words. Sometimes when you're at that pump number 7 of whatever your gas station is, and someone is across the aisle from you at pump 8, just a simple smile, an interaction with someone, just a smile can encourage them and uplift their spirits. I've had people in public in places similar to that say, hey, there's something different about you. What is it? Man, that's opened the door, giving me an opportunity to share Christ with them. We're called to be what? Light in a very dark world, y'all. Honestly, this world's getting darker and darker. We've got to use our opportunities that God gives us on a daily basis to share that light. So when we seize the simple opportunities, man, I believe we are activating a powerful success principle that's found in Ephesians 6 and 8, which in the Amplified Bible says this: knowing that whatever good thing each one does, he will receive this back from the Lord, whether he is slave or free. As you seize every opportunity to bless others, y'all, the Lord will be doing the same thing for us. I have truly experienced this. You know what? Ephesians 4 talks about some are called to be pastors and evangelists and apostles. And the last thing on that list is teachers. And I know without a doubt, because I've answered the call in my life, but as I look, I know there's been a mantle of teaching on the Novell family. My dad, he set everything aside in his personal life and his personal music and his personal dreams that he at one point wanted to pursue. He set all of that aside to train and raise up and teach and instill biblical principles and musical knowledge into people. He spent more time focusing on helping other people chase their dreams than he even did with his own. So I know, and I've experienced this as a teacher, man, when I teach, and those lessons, Rob tends to learn something. I have about 40 students a week, and man, there's not a week, you all, that goes by that by the end of that week, I have not become a better musician, a better teacher, a better student, because I have been teaching and giving to other people. So seize every opportunity, seize each and every one to bless others. And the Lord's going to do the same thing for you. God expects us to discover previously unknown opportunities. Ephesians 5:16 in the New Living Translation says this: make the most of every opportunity in these evil days. We talked a while ago about how dark things are. If the scripture tells us to make the most of every opportunity, here's what that means. It means we're given more than one. If it tells us to make the most of every, not the opportunity, but every opportunity. So within this word, within this title today of opportunity, I mean, you're not just looking for one opportunity in your life, you're looking for every opportunity. Every day, expect and seek previously unknown opportunities that God directs your path. Colossians 4:5 in the New Living Translation says this: live wisely among those who are not believers and make the most of every opportunity. Y'all, next to my salvation, my testimony is my greatest possession. I've got to protect that. I've got to be careful when I'm out in public, how I respond to things. We all get into situations, be it a traffic jam or a line at the bank, or let's not even talk about our DMVs or our license bureau and the lines that are waiting for us when we get there. And we got to do our best on a daily basis in public to, it's hard to let your light shine through when you walk in and you start telling everybody, hey, hurry up. I've got a schedule to keep. Man, Atlanta, y'all, I grew up Pentecostal, and I've realized something in the 17 years I've lived here. Atlanta is a perfect place to live if you are Pentecostal, because you can backslide and repent about every 2 car lengths when we're setting through traffic here. I'm serious. We can. Driving through Atlanta when we have to will really, truly test your salvation. Okay, so I want to talk about the other part of our title today, the 3 cons of opportunity. The first one is this: convenience. Again, we talked at the beginning about people saying, hey, I'm waiting on the opportunity to come. Man, people literally are expecting it to come to them. They're scared of it because it's in overalls and it looks like work. They don't want to do anything. And I think we can all relate to this. And I travel, I'm around the country, and it's not just here in my area, but man, I'm finding it harder and harder, to get the service at restaurants and even fast food, banks, stores. Customer service isn't what it used to be, because everybody is hurting for employees to show up to work. I don't get it. I don't get why nobody wants to work, but I think we're all seeing that, truth be known, it's happening everywhere. I think people are just looking for that handout, the convenience of it. It's not coming to us. We got to go get it. Here's the thing. I've heard this quote and I love it. And I think this falls in this first con: convenience. Don't be in the backyard looking for 4-leaf clovers and miss opportunity knocking on your front door. If you're in the backyard looking for something that you think is supposed to happen, you're not going to be within earshot when God may be wanting to present that opportunity by knocking on your front door. We have opportunities all around us. We just got to be looking for them. The second con in our 3 cons of opportunity is construction. We got to build a plan for success. And what did we say again towards the beginning? By the very definition, let me read that again. By the very definition, opportunity is a situation or condition favorable for attainment of a goal, a good position, a chance, or prospect, as for advancement or success. So an opportunity within itself is success. As you begin to construct a plan for your ministry, as you begin to construct a plan for your music, you're already being successful because you're taking advantage of that opportunity. The last con, the third one here today, is continue. What do I mean by that? Be thankful for the season that you're in. Your current season is your current opportunity. And I quoted this earlier. What's the word say? If we're faithful with the little, He'll begin to open doors of opportunity to lead us to the large, to the big. If He can trust us with what we have in our hands now, He can trust to put in our hands what He wants to put there. I think sometimes the reason doors don't open can simply be because we're asking for more. We're asking for big when we're not willing to be faithful with the little and what we currently have in our hands. We've got to be obedient to the call on our lives. It says in Isaiah, if we're faithful and obedient, we'll eat from the best of the land. And I don't know about you, but you know what? I like scriptures like that. I like scriptures of promise. That's a scripture of hope to Rob. When Rob may be going through a season where things are not real shiny and bright, my hope is this: if I will be faithful and obedient to push through this current season, man, God's got something so big waiting for me on the other side. So this is our talk on opportunity today and the 3 cons of opportunity. What were those again? Convenience, construction, and continuance. All right, you all have a blessed day and be blessed until we're back together. I hope, truly, truly hope, if you apply this information, it will lead you into becoming your best day yet. Y'all be blessed. Thanks for listening to the Charles Novell School of Music podcast, The Best Day Yet. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter under the name the Charles Novell School of Music. And for more information on CNS and our upcoming events, like our online school, our weekend regional sessions, our creative coaching, and our pastor's retreat, you can visit us at our website at www.cnsmusic.com. As you've listened to this episode, we hope that you've gained some information that you can apply to your music and to your ministry to make today the best day yet.